Bro, I know some crazy shit goes on in this world, but man, to have it actually happen to you is it's a different kind of impact. And I'm gonna explain it. See me, I was I am always a very adventurous person. I like trying new things at least once in my life, check it off my bucket list. But at this moment, I just wanted to get out of my city for a while and do me. So I packed up a few things, loaded up my car, my 2006 Pontiac Grand Prix, and I got on the road. Where I'm headed to Montana. It's a nice cabin with a lake behind it in Montana. I'll never forget it. I'm on the road, I messaged the guy, the guy in charge of the Airbnb. I told him I should make it there within 2, if not 2.5 hours. And I left during the evening, so I'll make it there by night. That's what I told him. And he said, okay, sure. I'll leave the keys with the security code attached to it in the mailbox. That's what he said. So I'm driving, boom, music playing, zoning out, bang. I finally make it there. Got this long, like rocky-ish dirt road heading straight towards the cabin. I'm using GPS. And it led me right to the cabin. The cabin looked it exactly how it did in the picture, which was perfect because it was clean. And the lake in the back, you can see it, but you couldn't see it fully as I'm pulling up. But as I'm pulling up, I'm like, wow, this is really nice. I'm gonna enjoy this. I just wish I brought someone with me, like a female, or we just kick it and take photos, make some footage. But at the time, I really just wanted to be by myself. I wanted to do my own thing. Didn't feel like dealing with no nagging chick. I need this, I need that. I just really wanted to be by myself. All of us have the moments when we just need to be by ourselves and just meditate, pray more deeply on an in-depth level. But anyways, this was like a personal development escape, as you should say. And I turn off the car, I open the door, get out, unload everything, go into the cabin, throw all my stuff in the middle of the room. And in this cabin, there's a couch. It's one couch, nice flat screen TV. But the thing was, it had an old VCR. So I assumed it had no cable, so I would have to use the VCR because it had plenty VCR tapes next to it. And I remember one of the tapes was Mrs. Doubtfire, and another one was some vampire movie. I can't remember the name of that vampire movie, but those the only two I checked out while I was in there. But as I'm looking around, there's a window right next to the back door leading out to the lake, and a nice island-like kitchen. It's a small island-like kitchen, but it was nice. It was decent. I liked it. It was comfortable. And I walked to the back. The room was huge. I give the owner that. The room was huge. It had one window, had a few tables. It even had a little mini TV in there with the small refrigerator, like one of the mini refrigerators. And the bed was, I'm gonna have to say, a California king-size bed. It was huge. You could fit at least 4, maybe 5 people in that bed. It was nice. So next thing you know, I walked to the refrigerator. I checked it out. Luckily enough, there was beers in there. I'm not a big beer drinker, but that day I just had to have some beer, and I'm so glad the owner of the Airbnb left some beers. It was cool. It was 2 cases of Bud Light. I decided to walk out back and check out the lake. The lake had 2 chairs, and it had an ice bucket right in the middle between the chairs, as if somebody was there already before I came. You know what I mean? Because it was bottles open and, you know, bottle tops all over the area where them chairs was at, facing out towards the lake. So I walk over there. I actually sit down in a chair and I zone out at the lake. I was like, man, telling myself like, this is really nice. Telling myself like, man, just imagine if I owned this. This would be dope. This would be a nice retreat for the family, you know? You don't get the, your imagination get to going off. It was a beautiful sight, it really was. A nice, huge lake. One of them lakes you can have a boat and just go fishing in it. It was nice. So I decided to go back in, grab a beer, and come back out to the lake. After that first beer, I went back in and I said, fuck it. I just grabbed the whole case and brought it outside. So as I'm outside, sitting in the chair, looking out into the lake, I'm getting plastered drunk. Bottle after bottle. Bottle after bottle. Call it depression, call it Zen mode, call it whatever you want. I was really going through it. And the more I drink, the more I felt good. Can't even lie. The more I drank, the more I felt good. And it was like, the more I drink, the more everything around me start vibrating. You know, it was a different kind of vibration. Like you could hear the crickets because it was getting dark. It was getting very late, like really late. Because when I got there, it was around 9 p.m. And from that moment forward, it was getting extremely dark, but I was enjoying it. As it was getting dark, it's like when you look out into the lake, you can barely see the lake, bro. You can only see the moonlighting hitting the trees, and like the lighting from the moon is slightly hitting the lake, but the lake is pitch black at this moment in time. I'm in a Zen mode, bro. I'm like, wow, man, this is beautiful. I'm all here by myself and I'm just doing my own thing. It was peaceful to me. It wasn't intimidating. It wasn't shocking. It was mostly beautiful. And I enjoyed it. So I'm drunk. I'm talking to myself, rapping, all this goofy shit. And I decided to go back in. And I had sat down on the couch. I had checked out the video tapes, but the VCR tapes. And I said, fuck it, I'll put it in Mrs. Doubtfire. Played Mrs. Doubtfire for a moment, but as I'm watching Mrs. Doubtfire, I noticed I had all the lights on. All the lights on in the cabin. Like I said, y'all, it's pitch dark outside. As you look around into the forest, you can't see anything. As you look out to the lake, you cannot see that lake. It's pitch dark. And from the inside of the house, the lights were so bright and lit inside the house, I can only see as far as my vehicle because the inside cabin lights reflected onto my car. And my car was like maybe 10 feet away from the cabin. Yeah, it was 10 feet away. So I grabbed my keys. I looked out the window and I pointed my automatic lock button at the car. You know, I pressed it twice, 4 or 5 times. Honk, 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 honk. I'm drunk at this time, so I'm constantly pressing the lock button. Being OCD and shit. I've always been like that. So next thing you know, I cut off the cassette tape, the VCR, and I turn on my phone and I just get to play